I want to welcome you all to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My name is Jerry Shockey. I oversee all the youth and educational programs here. And we're extremely excited to have you guys participate in our Heart of the Hall of Famers series featuring Pro Football Hall of Famer Mr. Jerry Rice. And some of you have done this program before. Some of you are new to it. For those of you that are new to it, the real idea and premise behind this is to convey what it took to get in the Hall of Fame beyond just the athletic ability. We know our Hall of Famers are great examples of athleticism and skill and talent and all those sorts of things, but it took a lot more than that to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It took those 6 core pillars that you guys are discussing and studying, the trustworthiness, the respect, the responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship, and many more character qualities it took to get enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One thing I can tell you, and maybe let you in on a little secret, those aren't character qualities just being a great football player. Those are character qualities to be a Hall of Famer in every element of your life, whether it's at home, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in your future employment, whether it's in your community, whatever it might be. And I'll just remind all the schools, I think maybe somebody got in there, just remind all the schools to mute your microphones so we can eliminate any background noise. Thank you very much. So that's the real idea and premise behind this program. I'm not going to do too much talking here today because I know we have a lot of excited students wanting to ask Mr. Rice some questions. So with that being said, this program can't take place without a team of individuals that helped set this up. First and foremost, we have to thank Mr. Rice and the folks, his business manager, Sasha. Thank you for setting this up, Sasha, and helping coordinate Mr. Rice's schedule. We greatly appreciate it. And I'm hearing some background noise. Somebody have their microphone muted, or is that the students at the 49ers Academy? Oh. Perfect. Somebody muted there. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Pan down.
Oh. Okay, thank you. We have to thank the folks at the 49ers Academy for helping facilitate this and opening their doors to Mr. Rice. Obviously, something that they would always willingly do, as he is a supporter of the Academy. So we have to thank a number of folks there. John Colleton, Solomon Hill, Michael Shaw, Michelle Sharkey, Gina Sedera. Thank you very much for all your work and all your support with this program. Wouldn't have happened without you. We have to thank our friends there at Interisys Networks that helped facilitate this particular connection. Rick Edson, Eric Rowe, Jonathan Kidwell, Jerry Herzog, one of 3 Jerrys that are involved in this program today. We have to thank our friends at Extellisys, Adam Smith there, for providing the expertise in the video conferencing technology and setting that up at the 49ers Academy. And last but definitely not least, with all of our multi-point connections we do through our State Department of Education, eTech Ohio. Thank you for connecting all these schools together and allowing us all to interact with each other. Mark, Paul, Josh, Scott, all those folks that are troubleshooting behind the scenes. We have to thank our teachers. Every program, every school has a number of different teachers that help put this on, whether it's a tech person, whether it's the coordinator of the program, or whether it's a classroom teacher. Most schools have 2 or 3 people involved in one program. Thank you for all your sacrifice and commitments to making this possible for your students. And last but definitely not least, we have to thank the real stars of the show, and that's the students. Obviously, the students have done the prep work, have done the research on Mr. Rice, have come up with some great questions that they will be able to ask of Mr. Rice here today. And what I'd like to do is give an opportunity for all these students at the interactive schools to give a little shout out. So they can show where they're from and show a little school spirit. So again, I apologize to the schools. Close your doors on your classrooms. If you're in a library, I really apologize for allowing your students to shout out for a minute. But we're going to start first there with Mr. Rice. Mr. Rice, if you can plug your ears for a second, we'll let the students at 49ers Academy in Palo Alto, California, go ahead and give a shout out.
Shout out.
Loud.
Shout out. Come on.
What's up, guys?
Excitement.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rice. We appreciate that.
Okay.
Let's go. I know they're not going to disappoint me in Louisiana. Let's go to Covington. Covington? Come on.
Go!
Thank you, Louisiana. We're going to go to Lodgegrass, Montana. Go ahead and mute there in Louisiana. We're going to go to Lodgegrass, Montana. Our folks at Lodgegrass, go ahead with a shout out. Let's go.
Oh, what up? What up?
Boy, we are 0-3. I hate to use baseball analogies for this, but maybe Canton South will show us some more enthusiasm. Canton South.
What up?
Thank you, Ken South. Now, I know that this school will not disappoint because every time we connect with them, they have enthusiastic students. Let's go to Aspermont, Texas. Aspermont? There we go. You know I got to do it every time, Aspermont, because I see myself on the big screen there. I got to raise my hands up. So thank you, Aspermont. Let's go to Bridge Valley in Furlong, Pennsylvania.
3.
Hello from Bridge Valley!
All right. Thank you very much, Bridge Valley. And last but definitely not least, we'll go to Bree, Ohio, home of the Browns training camp, and Ford Middle School.
Hello!
What's up?
Hello!
Thank you, Ford. We greatly appreciate it. And we'll ask them to leave their microphones muted, but I would like to at least read off the schools that are tuned in as a view-only school. We have Warren County High School in McMinnville, Tennessee. We have Bozeman High School in Bozeman, Montana. We have Cinnamon Elementary in Lemoore, California. Wolf Point in Wolf Point, Montana. Darby High School in Darby, Montana. We've got a lot of fans in Montana. Colstrip High School in Colstrip, Montana. Forest Hills Elementary in Sidman, PA. Catlin Arts Magnet in Omaha, Nebraska. Kenmore Middle School in Landover, Maryland. Washington Elementary in Hanford, California. Hooper Renwick Middle School in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Plum City School District in Plum City, Wisconsin. Barry J. Nydorf Middle School in Los Angeles, California. Incline High School in Incline, Nevada, Incline Village, Nevada. And then Perryton ISD in Perryton, Texas. So obviously we've got a packed house here today. But let me go to the introduction of Mr. Rice before we ask for his opening remarks and go to the Q&A with the students. He was born in Crawford, Mississippi. Mr. Rice did not start playing football until he was a sophomore in high school. Despite becoming an all-state player, Rice was not recruited by many major college football programs and attended Mississippi Valley State University, which some of you might know is a Division I AA school. As a senior, he broke NCAA records for receptions, yards, touchdowns, and acquired the nickname World because there really wasn't a pass in the world that he couldn't catch. MVSU later renamed its football stadium Rice Totten Stadium in honor of Rice and quarterback Willie Totten. He was elected into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2006. In 1985, Rice caught the eye of future 49ers Hall of Fame head coach Bill Walsh, who drafted him with the 16th overall pick in the 1985 draft. In only his third season, Rice set the NFL record for touchdown receptions with 22. Now get this, that was a strike-shortened season, a player's strike. It was only 12 games. So some of you fantasy football players out there, you would have probably had to love having Mr. Rice that season. By the late 1980s, Mr. Rice had become one of the biggest receiving threats in the NFL, teaming with Hall of Fame quarterbacks, names you guys might recognize, Joe Montana and Steve Young, to win 3 championships. After leaving the 49ers, Rice continued to excel, having his 13th and 14th 1,000-yard receiving seasons and scoring his 200th touchdown in 2002 with Oakland. Mr. Rice's meticulous preparation and work ethic during his 20-year NFL career became legendary. As many of you students saw, I sent a link to a YouTube video of his interview about the Hill. If you didn't get to see it, check it out. You may ask a question about the Hill today because it really was legendary, his training methods. He holds 36 NFL records, a record in itself for most records. Has scored the most touchdowns in NFL history with 208. Holds virtually every significant career receiving record, including receptions with 1,549, receiving yards with 22,895, all-time purpose yards with 23,546, touchdown receptions with 197, and consecutive games with at least one catch at 274. Let me take a breath after all that. During his career, Rice was selected to the Pro Bowl a record 13 times, won the NFL Most Valuable Player Award in 1987, and was named Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 23. In 1999, he was ranked number 2 in the Sporting News list of 100 greatest football players, the highest ranked active player and receiver, and in 2010 was voted the number 1 player in the NFL Network's the top 100 NFL greatest players. So many who you're speaking with here today, you think about all the great players, the Jim Browns, the Earl Campbells, the Tony Dorsetts, the Steve Largents, the Jerry Rices, the John Elways. Many consider him the best out of any of them, just because he dominated his position so much. In 2010, he had the greatest honor that an individual can receive, and he was elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. Didn't stop there. After his retirement, Rice's celebrity has grown beyond the football field. Shows that you guys are familiar with. He is currently an NFL analyst for ESPN. He finished second in the second season of the ABC hit reality show. Many of you are familiar with, all of you are probably familiar with Dancing with the Stars, and has appeared on NBC's Deal or No Deal, Law and Order SVU, Fox's Don't Forget the Lyrics, CBS's The Class, CW's The Game and One Tree Hill, Spike TV's Pros vs. Joes, ABC's American Inventor, and The Biggest Loser. Mr. Rice also previously co-hosted Sports Sunday with Raj Matai on the San Jose NBC local affiliate. He is currently in a multi-year marketing contract with Van Heusen, and part of his endorsement includes an international advertising campaign. Currently, he still resides in the San Francisco Bay Area and has 4 children. So with that being said, first of all the interactive schools, I'd like to give you a second here. If you can unmute your microphones and join me and give him a warm round of applause and saying welcome to Pro Football Hall of Famer, Mr. Jerry Rice. Go ahead and mute there, and Mr. Rice, the microphone is yours, sir.
Well, I just want to open and say that, with all those records, those stats, it was all about teamwork, and football is not an individual sport. It's about going out there with your teammates and playing your best football. So, I'm really honored to have this opportunity to sit here and talk to you guys today, all the students, and I'm ready for the questions that you have to ask me, and I'll try to answer those questions. But, it's just a great day, and I'm really glad to be here, be a part of the 49er Academy, and let's go at it. Let's have some fun.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rice. And students, just so you realize, when the NFL started in 1920 here in Canton, Ohio, to now, there have been about 22,000 players that have laced up in the National Football League. There are only 280 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And out of that, only about 240 are actual players. So when we're talking to Mr. Rice here today, realize this is one of the greatest football players ever. I mean, ever. And you have the opportunity to ask, what obstacles he faced in life, what character quality he thinks is most important. All these sorts of questions you guys have the opportunity to ask him, that this technology allows you to ask them. So with that being said, what we're going to do, we're going to work in the order. First, and give me just a second there, 49ers Academy. We're going to go first with the 49ers Academy, go Lee Road, Lodgegrass, Canton South, Aspermont, Bridge Valley, and Ford, and we will rotate through as many times as we can. Couple things we ask is, again, please make sure you keep your microphones muted. Obviously, we can't with the 49ers Academy, so we're not blocking out Mr. Rice's words. But also, even after you ask your questions, students, if you can mute immediately following the asking of the question, so that way we can eliminate any of those background noises. So with that being said, let's go to the students that Mr. Rice is flanked by there at the 49ers Academy in Palo Alto. If you have the first question to start off the program, go ahead.
Which character trait most helped you fit in with your different teams?
I would probably say respect, because you have to be able to respect your teammates, their beliefs, and also you have to be able to go out there and play with those guys and bring the best out of those guys. So the main thing for me, I wanted to be respected. So I had to work a certain way. I had to be on time. If we had a meeting in the morning, I had to be on time. If we had practice, I had to be the first one to go on the practice field, and I had to be the last one to leave. And that's the way you gain respect.
Thank you very much, there, 49ers Academy. And I will say 49ers Academy, just you guys wouldn't know this, but any type of movement with the paper right by that microphone is very sensitive, so we can just limit the shaking and things like that. That would be greatly appreciated. But great question to start off the program. We're going to go to Covington, Louisiana. Our friends at Lee Road, make sure you speak up clearly.
What advice would you give to people to help them develop their character?
I think the advice that I would give is that, because my parents, they instilled in me hard work and how you should prepare yourself. And I think though that's something that you have to carry into life and also carry on the football field, that you have to be a hard worker and you have to dedicate yourself. And I always gave 100%. And I think that's the reason why I was able to be so successful in the NFL, but also off the football field, as a parent and with my kids.
Thank you very much, Lee Road. We're going to go from Louisiana to Lodgegrass, Montana. Go ahead, Lodgegrass.
Third. Football is many times referred to as an ultimate team sport. How do you think teamwork teaches you about life?
I think it teaches you that you have to work together as a team, and you're going to have some obstacles that you're going to have to fight through. And, as a football player now, the team aspect is a little bit different because, you go out there, you play football, and, you take on those challenges and you try to win football games. Now, when you're off the football field, and if it's like in life, you just have to, just do the right thing. You have to make good decisions, and you have to listen to your parents. And if you do those things, I think you're going to have success on the football field and also in life.
And we're going to shoot across from Montana to right down the street from here for the most part. Canton South High School in Canton, Ohio. Go ahead.
I want to be on the TV.
What does leadership mean to you?
Say that one more time.
Can you repeat that?
What does leadership mean to you?
Well, leadership could be, playing sports. It can be off the football field, and it just can be in general life. For me, I always wanted to be a leader. I wanted to go out there and I wanted to set the standard. And even when I played professional football, I wanted to lead by example. Okay? I think we're okay now. So, I always wanted to, I always wanted to lead by example, and I think leadership is everything. In any part of life, you have to be a leader. You have to set the standard if you want to have a success and have a great life.
Thank you very much, Canton South. We're going to go to Aspermont, Texas. Student Aspermont, go ahead.
How do you maintain staying grounded and not getting caught up in the fame that comes with your abilities?
I think I remain grounded because I'm doing something that I love doing, and just being here with you guys today, this is something I want to do and be able to, just pass some of that knowledge on to you guys. Have never let anything go to my head, even with the Super Bowls, with all the accolades, breaking so many records, being on so many different shows, it doesn't go to my head. I stay grounded, and I just believe that I'm here for a purpose, and that's really to, be able to just pass knowledge on to the younger generation, which I try to get involved with the players that are playing football today. And so nothing goes to my head. It's not about all the accolades. It's about being able to help people.
And you can obviously add to those accolades having the greatest first name in history.
Well, that's true, too.
Let's go from Aspermont, Texas to Furlong, Pennsylvania, Ridge Valley.
What have your experiences taught you about life?
Well, I think my experiences, what they have taught me is that you're going to have obstacles. You're going to have to be able to fight through adversity at times. When I first came into the league, I was not this great football player. I was dropping footballs, and I took a lot of criticism, and I had to be able to fight through that and still bring out my potential, and I was able to do that. So it just teaches you that you're going to have to dig deep at times. When things are not going your way, you're going to have to be able to fight out of it and always, think positive.
Thank you very much, Bridge Valley. And let's go to the bottom of the lineup there. Bree, Ohio, Ford Middle School. Go ahead.
Who's your role model?
I have had so many role models, but I think my parents, because of what they instilled in me, and this is something I talked about earlier when I first came on, about hard work and dedication and always giving 100%, but I also had some football players. I had Drew Hill, Tony Hill, Dwight Clark, Freddie Solomon, Joe Montana. Just so many guys I wanted to try to go out there and be like. And I think that really made me excel on the football field because I wanted to reach their status. So I had to work a little bit harder.
And I've been avoiding putting in comments there because the students have had such great questions so far. But talking about mentors, can you talk with these students, Mr. Rice, about surrounding themselves with positive people throughout their life and how important that is to their development and staying out of trouble and all those sorts of things?
Well, this is something I talk about my son. Well, I talk to my son about all the time. My son, he's a senior at UCLA, and it's all about putting people that are positive around you that's going to have your best interests at heart. Because if you got someone with negativity that's trying to bring you down, that person shouldn't be around you. And I think that's why we had so much success with the San Francisco 49ers is because we had so many players that was very positive. They came to work every day. They always gave 100%. You didn't hear that much about these individuals off the football field, doing bad things. And that's the way that you have to surround yourself with people that's going to have your best interests at heart.
And so students, whether it's in sports, surrounding yourselves with those that are going to make you better, great coaches, other great players, but also as students, become the best students. You want to hang around with those individuals that are going to challenge you to be the best student that you can possibly be. So let's go back to the students right there and at the 49ers Academy. Go on with the next question. Just make sure to speak up a little louder this time.
When you had your injury in 1997, did you try to play it off?
It was so difficult for me when I got injured because to be honest with you, I thought I was invincible because everything was going so well. I was playing in every ball game. We were having success on the football field. We were winning championships. Then all of a sudden I had this adversity where I tore my MCL, ACL. And now I had some adversity. And I had to be able to fight through that, and I was able to come back and have some productive years. But it was really difficult for me, and I remember, lying in bed many nights, and I wanted to be out there on the football field, and I was crying because football was everything to me. It was something that I really loved doing, and it was a way for me to entertain, so many people. And it brought so much joy to my life. And now all of a sudden to have that adversity where I had that injury, it was very difficult to overcome. That was a great question.
Yeah, great question. Great question. Let's go to Lee Road, Covington, Louisiana.
As one of the leaders on your team, did you ever feel pressured?
I think as a leader, you should take on that responsibility of being, feeling pressure because you want to set the standard. And I was the one that was willing to, put myself out there because here's the story. As a leader, you want that final play. You want that ball to come your direction. And if you make the catch, everything is just lovely. Everybody's going to cheer. Everything is going to be great. But if you drop that football, now you got to deal with the criticism that comes behind it. You look at Michael Jordan. You look at Larry Bird, all these great players that played professional sport. They wanted the ball when everything was on the line. So there should be pressure on the leader and, for that individual to go out there and set the standard.
Another great question there in Louisiana. Let's shoot it across to Montana, Lodgegrass.
As a child, what events in your life do you believe helped shape you into the man you are today?
Well, as a child, I was a country kid. I used to run fields. I used to chase horses. I used to do all of this stuff. And I never thought I would play professional football, because I would run in the middle of the day. It would be 110, 115 degrees. I would, go for these runs. And I was not playing high school football or anything. But I think I was preparing myself. And I think just doing stuff like that, also, listening to my parents, listening to my coaches, and just trying to be the best individual that I can be, and not being influenced by, what was happening in certain communities and stuff like that, dealing with drugs and all that stuff. I stayed positive, and I think a lot of that molded me into the person that I am today. And I think I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't change anything. My upbringing, I was country, very small town. We didn't have that much going on, but I think it got me ready and got me prepared for what I was, able to encounter down the road.
Thank you, Lodgegrass. And let's go to Canton, Ohio, Canton South.
Canton South, we're back on the air.
How does it feel to know that people consider you to be the greatest wide receiver, or sometimes even the greatest player to play the game?
I think it's great for people to say I am, and to appreciate what I was able to bring forth on the football field. But like I stated, I loved playing football. I enjoyed it. I always gave 100%. I enjoyed entertaining, so many fans, in entertaining you guys. And I think it's okay for them to say that, but it's sort of hard. I have to pinch myself because I was able to do something and touch so many lives from just being on the football field, and with everything that I was able to accomplish with all the records and all the Super Bowls. I think it's great for people to say that, but it feels a little weird.
With all those accolades and everything, Mr. Rice, can you share with them, we don't always win the Super Bowl. There are 3 teams that you guys defeated that probably prepared just as hard as you guys did. Just wasn't, for whatever reason, their day. There's people that study real hard to get an A on the test, but fall short, maybe get a B or a C. What advice do you have those students that maybe don't get that goal that they were looking for?
Well, I have one in particular because I won 3 Super Bowls, then I lost one with the Oakland Raiders. Now I still had to be that professional guy because I still had media people I had to talk to, and I had fans there that I had to go down and visit. So, I think that Super Bowl taught me more than the 3 Super Bowls that I won, because I was able to achieve everything I wanted in those Super Bowls. Then now, all of a sudden, I lost one, and I still had obligations where, I had to go and like I said, I had to go and speak with the media and be a professional about it. It's just like with you guys, if you take a test, and exactly what you said, if you're looking for that A and you come up a little short, just dig back down deep, and say, hey, next time I'm gonna get that A. Keep fighting through adversity, and you're gonna kick that door in. And it was the same way with me with those Super Bowls that we won. We came up short a couple times, but you have to come back the next year and you have to work harder. And I think that was one of my trademarks, and that's the reason why I had so much success on the football field.
And students, if you take that advice, come back and work harder. If you take that advice in everything that you do in life, trust me, you are going to be winning Super Bowls and getting A's on tests and all those things that you want to achieve in your life by taking that philosophy.
Can I add one more comment to that? Guys,
Sure.
if I had a year where I had over, say, 1,500, 1,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, you would think that you would look at that and say, hey, look, that was perfect. But I wanted the next year to be better than that year. I always put pressure on myself to be better, and not get complacent, because you want to challenge yourself. So, like I said, if you shoot it for 8 and you come up a little short, then you come
The
back.
conference is about to end.
Don't worry, you guys are okay. Go ahead, Mr. Rice.
Okay. So I always challenge myself. If I came in one year and I was 200 pounds, I want to come back the next year, I want it to be 190. I want it to be faster. I want it to be quicker. I want it to always be able to excel and have that, that excellent season. And that's why I kept pushing.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to Aspermont, Texas.
Even though being trustworthy is not valued by famous people at times, how has it paid off in your career?
I think you have to trust the individual that's next to you. It applies to football. I got to trust Joe Montana that he's going to throw that perfect pass. I got to trust Dwight Clark that he's going to take that double coverage off me so I can have one-on-one against that defensive back. It's the same thing in life. You have to surround yourself with people that you trust. That's going to have your best interest. And if they're not trustworthy, then you don't need to be around those individuals.
Thank you, Aspermont. And let's go to Bridge Valley, Pennsylvania.
Can you describe your relationship with Joe Montana and what character traits you have in common with him?
Well, Joe Montana and I would say through repetition over and over during practice, it was like we were brothers. He knew my every move. He knew when I was getting ready to come out of my cut. I knew when Joe was going to throw the football my way. And so we had that chemistry thing. But you gain that chemistry from practice, repetition, over and over, doing practice. If you do not work hard 100% on the practice field, then on that given Sunday or that Monday night, you're not going to be able to go out there and perform at your best. So we had that chemistry going, and I think that's why Joe and I had so much success on the football field. But I also had a lot of success with Steve Young also, but it started on the practice field.
And just for the schools that are connecting in on a bridge, just double check that 5-minute warning that came up may be on your bridge. So just double check if you're going through a bridge, connecting into our bridge. Make sure you double check that. Bridge Valley, thank you very much. Let's go to Ford Middle School.
What was the hardest obstacle that you had to face as a pro football player?
The hardest obstacle that I had to face. Wow, that's a good one. I would say probably the adversity that when I first came in, coming from a small, predominant black school, and all of a sudden looking across the locker room and you see Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, all of these great players. And I came from this small, predominant black school and trying to fit in. So I felt there were like additional pressure on me to perform. And I think that worked against me because I was dropping footballs. Now, that was something that I had never done before, dropping footballs. And then the media got down on me. Then the fans started booing me. Then to be able to fight through that adversity and have the success that I have attained, throughout my career, just been amazing. So just fighting through those obstacles, I think it really it molded me into the person that I am today, and it just taught me that you should never give up.
Okay, thank you very much for it. And we're going to go back to those students that are in there with Mr. Rice. If you want to go ahead with your next question.
How did being a person of good character affect your career?
I think character is everything. I mean, what you put out there, what people think of you is very important. And that's why I wanted to represent it, and I wanted to represent the San Francisco 49ers the right way. Then when I was not with the team, or if I was, it was the off season, I still wanted to represent the San Francisco 49ers the right way off the field, not making headlines, doing bad things. So, I feel character plays a very important part, and it says a lot about that individual. And I think it played a very important part in my development and what I was able to accomplish on the football field, and how people perceive me now, because they know that, hey, look, that I was serious about my craft, that I always gave 100%. And if a fan came to the game, they were going to get something special on that given day, because I was not going to cheat those fans. Because if you guys paid your money, I wanted you to see, exceptional football. So character is everything.
Let's go to Lee Road, Louisiana.
All right. What groups were you involved in at your school?
Well, I was in a fraternity group, Phi Beta Sigma, and one thing I couldn't do though, I couldn't step, and I was not coordinated and stuff like that, so they would always put me at the back, because they didn't want me to embarrass them. But being part of that organization just taught me that it's great to be part of an organization like that, but still you have to represent yourself the right way. And then when I came on to the Niners, that was my fraternity, the San Francisco 49ers, and how you went out there in the community, also how you played on the football field, and how you won football games and also Super Bowls. And so that was my fraternity, but I couldn't step though. I have to work on that.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Rice, we talked a lot about the respect and responsibility and those sorts of things. A lot of things that tie into those areas. Two of the pillars that the students are studying are caring and citizenship. Can you talk with them a little bit about what that means to you and some of the things that you are involved with off the field?
Well, I think caring, that's very important, because getting out there in the community, and this is something like I have been working on, because I want the younger generation to be more, to be a bigger part of this. The football players, the younger guys, getting out there in the community where they can make their mark, and also let the fans get up next to them, rub elbows with them just a little bit. And that was something that I enjoy doing, and I still enjoy doing. And, just by me being here today, being able to have this interaction with you guys, it does wonders for me, because, I feel like, you guys are the future, the younger generation. And if I'm able to pass knowledge on to you guys, that's going to make you better individuals and stuff like that. I have done my job. So, caring is everything. And it was the same way when I played football. It's the same way off the football field. It's the same way with my kids and everybody that I surround myself with.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rice. Let's go to Montana, I believe we're at. I think we just did Louisiana. I lost track here. Montana? I think you're next.
As a child, what events in your life do you believe helped shape you into the man you are today?
Well, I didn't start playing football until my sophomore year, and I tell this story a lot. I was playing hooky one day, which you guys should never do. I had the principal. He walked up behind me. He scared me, and he noticed I could run fast. So after he disciplined me, then he reported me to the head coach, and that's how I got my start in football. But you know, I think things happen for a reason. And as I stated earlier also, I was running, and I didn't know the reason why I was running. But I was preparing myself, you know, for, you know, playing football, you know, high school, and also then collegiate-wise, then professionally. And I played for a long time. When you add those many years up, I probably played like over 30 years of football. Because in the NFL, I played 20 years, then, you know, college 4, then, and also high school. That's a lot of football. That's a lot of football, a lot of hits, and a lot of, you know, being able to recoup real fast, where you can get back out there on the football field and excel. And I think, and like I said, I was running and I was dedicating myself, and I didn't know why, but everything worked out, and I was able to, like I stated, I was able to touch so many lives, and you know, with just going out there catching that football.
Mr. Rice, you brought up the word a few times, obviously, preparation. And obviously that's something that you've been known for throughout your career. And I've often said that students would love to be an NFL player, but if they, you know, just by what they watch on Sundays, but if they saw what went on Monday through Saturday or in the off season, or what you put yourselves through to get ready for that Sunday. Can you talk with them a little bit about the preparation, maybe even, you know, the hill, the legendary hill, or the infamous for some players that couldn't quite make it?
Yeah, it was tough on some of those guys that couldn't complete the hill, but preparation was everything for me, because I felt I had to be in the best shape that I could possibly be in. And everything that I worked on, it was about wearing the opponent out. So a typical day for me would be, say a Monday. I'm up, we're going to the hill. The hill is probably about 2.5 miles up. Then once I complete the hill, we go to the gym, we lift weights, and then after that, the next day we at the track. Then you running routes and you catching footballs. So you're doing all these things to make yourself better, but you have to commit to it. And I think that's why I was able to excel for so many years, because you're getting hit hard, guys. I mean, football is a very balanced sport, and athletes are getting bigger, they're getting faster now. And you have to be in your top shape to be able to go out there and compete. And I was able to do it for over 20 years, and I think it had a lot to do with my preparation off the football field. And Bill Walsh, he's without the greatest coach to ever coach the game. We called him the genius and stuff like that. He said, if you don't prepare the right way, you don't have a chance on that Sunday or that Monday. So preparation during the week, it was all about, you know, getting ready for that Sunday and that Monday. And what you put into that, you got out of it. And if you didn't work hard that week, you probably end up losing that football game on that Sunday or that Monday night.
And students, you guys can take that same attitude, that same philosophy in your lives, and you know, with your upcoming tests, the preparation is going to. You always hear players say that the game was easy; it was the preparing for the game that was difficult. And if you guys take that same kind of philosophy with your schoolwork and other areas of your life, you know, that test might become easy for you because you put in the preparation for that. So let's go to Canton South High School.
What advice would you give a high school athlete hoping to play in college?
Well, the advice that I would give him is probably, you know, focus on your homework and what you want to major in first. You know, because making it to the pros is very difficult. You know, so many guys really don't get opportunity to play professional football. But if you get your education, you have something to fall back on. And but then you have to dedicate yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and you should always go out there and give 100%. And if you get the opportunity to play professional football, then it's well deserved. But I always, just in case, I wanted something to fall back on, because like I said, it's very difficult to play, professional sports, and education is the #1 thing right now.
And just to back up what Mr. Rice is saying, if you guys ever go to the NFL Players Association website or just type NFLPA in Google, you can go into NFL hopefuls, and it is actually a statistic that they put out. It's only 0.2% of high school seniors that play football. So that's 1 in every 500 high school seniors that play football will ever make an NFL roster. Obviously, if you get a chance to get an education through your athletics, you better focus on that first, just as Mr. Rice had said. Let's go to Aspermont, Texas.
How has your life off the field paralleled your football career?
God, it's just like, it's almost just like, it feels like I'm running a route here because, at first I didn't think I was going to play any type of sports. Then I ended up playing sports in high school, then college, then on to the pros. Then after that, to have the opportunity to touch people in so many other ways, with Dancing with the Stars, with the opportunities that I have off the football field, it's been fantastic because, I think without football and what I was able to accomplish, I wouldn't be having these opportunities right now. All the different shows, being an analyst for ESPN, and also be one of those guys that when I'm running through the airport or something like that, and just from Dancing with the Stars, see a mom might, do a little dance move at me, or shimmy at me, and I'll shimmy right back at them or something like that. Just stuff like that. I don't think this would have happened if it was, not from high school to collegiate to professional football, and it just opened so many other doors for me, and I'm having a great time.
Thank you, Aspermont. Let's go to Pennsylvania, Bridge Valley.
What characteristics do you believe are important to have when you're trying to reach your goals as an NFL football player?
Oh my God! As an NFL football player, you got to have character. You also you got to respect yourself. You got responsibility. You also have to be caring, and I think you have to be determined. And you have to have that no-quit attitude that, you're going to be going up against some of the best football players to ever play the game, but you have to have confidence in yourself that I can hold my own and that I'm going to be able to go out there and compete and win that starting job. So those are some of the characters that I believe that you have to be a professional football player.
Thank you very much, Bridge Valley. Let's go to Bree, Ohio, Ford Middle School. Ford, are you still there?
What did you want to major in?
Well, I wanted. It's so weird because electronics. I always had this thing with my hands. I was able to fix things, and it's so ironic that now this translated into catching footballs. Because I always wanted to be able to fix televisions, and like he was telling me about this fan, just doing stuff like that. And I never thought I would be using my hands to catch footballs, and everything worked out for, it worked out for a reason. And I was able to go out there and use my hands to catch footballs and do all that. But in college, it was electronics.
Thank you, Ford. And I'm showing 12:50 Eastern Time, so we got about 10 minutes left. We'll try to get through as many more as we can and then ask Mr. Rice for his closing remarks. So let's go back to the students there at 49ers Academy.
How do you feel when you are away a lot and you don't get to see your kid?
That's a good one there. That's a good one. But the only thing about football, it's not like baseball and basketball. Those guys are on the road for a long time. They might be on the road for weeks or 2 weeks. As a football player, you fly out that Friday, then you back home that Sunday night. So the next day, that Monday, I'll be taking my kids to school. So I get a chance to spend time with them and do all that. The most difficult thing is, though, you practice all day and you're tired and you get home and your kids are still up, and I don't know if you guys drinking coffee or whatever, or eating candy, or you have so much energy, and being able to just involve yourself with your kids and do things like that. But I was very lucky because, like I said, in professional football, I had the experience to be around my kids all the time. And then I had Saturdays where, if my son was playing baseball or football, I could catch his football game if I was in town. So it's a lot different from those other sports.
Great question there, 49ers Academy. Let's go to Covington, Louisiana. Lee Road, are you there? One last try. Okay, let's go to Lodgegrass, Montana.
Mr. Rice, the story is in the proof of your life, and you have done a lot of proving. The question I have for you, what are your goals and what are you going to try to accomplish in, say, your next 20 years?
Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. Like I stated, I think, after playing football for such a long time, the work ethic is still there, and still, to challenge myself off the football field. Being an analyst, I want to get better at that, and maybe do more acting, and also, just getting out there in the community just a little bit more, and just watch you guys grow and be productive in life. I think that's a great reward. Just doing stuff like that. A lot of endorsement stuff that I'm doing. I'm having fun traveling, and it's a lot of fun because I never dreamt that I would be able to make this transition after football, because football was so much to me. It was my life. Now, to go into this other phase of my career is just it's fantastic, because there's a lot of opportunities out there, and I'm just going to continue to challenge myself and work hard and just try to be a positive individual, and be able to just pass that knowledge on.
Thank you, Lodgegrass. Let's go to Canton South.
Hi, we're a sports medicine program, and we studied a lot of sports-related injuries, and we wanted to know, what was your worst injury, and how did you overcome it mentally and physically, and what was the rehab techniques that you used?
Well, it's when I tore my ACL and MCL, and they had to rebuild me. Then now you have that rehab process, and that's where the work comes in. You're gonna have to, you're gonna sweat, you're gonna cry, you're gonna do everything, because it's really painful. But I wanted to get back out on that football field, so I knew I had to put that time in. So once you go through, a situation like that, I think it makes you more focused, and you just want to recommit yourself 100%. And I was able to fight through it, and I think the next couple of years, I came back and I was selected to the Pro Bowl, and then had the opportunity to go back to the Super Bowl with the Raiders. So everything paid off, but it was because of that hard work and that dedication that got me back on the football field.
Thank you, Canton South. Let's go to Aspermont. And Canton South, can you mute your microphones? I think they might be open.
What is your definition of teamwork?
Teamwork is working together, and it's there's no egocentric individuals or anything like that. You know, you just go out there and you play together as a team. And if you do that, you're going to have more success, you know, because I'm going to use this as an example. Michael Jordan, when he first came to the Chicago Bulls, you know, it was all about Michael. Michael taking so many shots, he was doing everything. Then once he started to rely on his teammates a little bit, that's when they started winning basketball games. Then they started winning championships. So, you know, it's not an individual sport. You have to work together as a team. And if you do that, you're going to have success on the football field and also off the football field.
Thank you, Aspermont. And let's go with the last two questions. We'll go to Bridge Valley and then Ford Middle School.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
You know, I have been asked that question so many times. I don't think I could put my finger on just one. I think it's just that I got a chance to play a sport that I really love playing, and I was able to touch so many lives. When you have little kids to come up to you and ask you for your picture or your signature, or you have, you know, people that just want to, you know, they see you and they give you that almost like that double take. You know, they look at you twice and say, you know, like, is that Jerry Rice? You know, I feel, you know, you really have accomplished something special, you know, on the football field, and that people respect you. But I think it's just that I had a chance to play a game that I love playing. And you look at all the records, you know, over 20,000 yards, over 1,500 catches, over 200 touchdowns. You know, that's great. But, you know, I think it's all about the effect that you have on people, you know, touching lives and being positive to those individuals.
Thank you very much, Bridge Valley. Let's go to Ford Middle School for the last question of the program.
Other than football, what would you say was your passion?
Dancing. Just joking. I think being a parent, you know, because, you know, I sacrificed so much with my football career that, you know, anytime I had the opportunity to go to one of my kids' you know, game, or go to something that had to do with them at school or something like that, you know, I was there to support them, because that's very important, to be around your kids and to be supportive. So, you know, I would just say being a parent, you know, and showing your kids that, hey, look, you know, I love what you're doing. And even though you didn't get that A, you know, I still love you, but I want you to come back harder next time, and I want you to work harder. And you know, just being a parent is very important.
Now, Mr. Rice, you've shared a lot of good stories, a lot of good advice. Is there anything you'd either A, like to reiterate that you've already talked about, or B, if there's something you haven't shared with these students that you'd like to share with them to close out the program?
Yeah, you know what, you know, guys, I always talk about hard work, and, you know, my father, he was a bricklayer, and my father was one of those individuals. He was very tough, and you had to be really disciplined. And I remember my father would always take me to work with him, and it was during the summer. Really, really hard work, very difficult. But I had a job to do, and if I didn't do my job, you know, I got punished. So, but this taught me about hard work and dedication, that nothing comes easy. And I don't want anything handed to me. I always want to go out there, and I want to work hard for it. And I think, you know, through my parents, and you guys should listen to your parents, you know, they're going to point you in the right direction. You know, they're going to try to give you all the support that you can get. But you have to listen to your parents, and you have to follow them. And I think my parents instilled in me about hard work and and not trying to take any shortcuts or anything like that. You work for everything, and I think it's more rewarding that way.
Students, if you can unmute your microphones for a second and join me in saying thank you and give a warm round of applause to Pro Football Hall of Famer, Mr. Jerry. Mr. Rice, on behalf of our team here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, from Steve Perry to all the folks here that you've gotten to know now over the last few years, let me say thank you on behalf of them for taking time out of your busy day and coming to connect with these students. We greatly appreciate that. We also have to thank Sasha for your manager, I guess, for making all the arrangements.
She's my boss.
I wasn't going to say it. I hesitated. But thank you, Sasha, for all your work. The folks at the 49ers Academy, John and Solomon and Michael, Michelle, all those folks, thank you. Enteresis Networks, those great folks at Enteresis, thank you for your work there. Extellisis, eTech Ohio, teachers, students, everyone. It took a team to make it work, and it couldn't have happened without each and one of you. And one person I forgot to thank out there that's at the 49ers Academy, the 49ers are there as well. I know Joanne Pasternak, their Community Relations and Foundation Director. Joanne, I'm so sorry. I didn't say. I've been working with Joanne for a few years now, but we actually finally got to meet face-to-face over video. So, Joanne, my apologies for not recognizing your efforts as well. She sits on the board there at the San Francisco 49ers Academy. So, thank you to everyone for making this connection possible. We hope to see you in Canton, Ohio someday. Until then, take care. Thank you.
Good job, guys.